Coach E on the mic, it's a game for all seasons. Dropping knowledge bombs, yeah, he got 1,000 reasons. Football to the hardwood, track to the grind. Perfect time fitness, he be flexing the mind. X and Rick Timmons, the squad so unique. Opinions hit harder than a linebacker peak. Comedy and culture, yeah, they got that blend. When the whistle blows, it ain't close to the end. Coach E, game for all seasons, we ride. Laughs and lessons, the crew by side. Sports, life, culture, they keep it alive. In the post-game word, that's the vibe.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to this special edition of Coach E Game for All Seasons, brought to you by Perfect Time Fitness with your boy Coach E, local neighborhood high school football, basketball, track coach, strength coach, Twinsburg football program, agility, speed coach at Perfect Time Fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on YouTube and my Facebook page, so go to Evan Curry Facebook page. Watch this right now. Go to YouTube, type in that search bar, Coach E Game for All Seasons. You'll see this right here. Hopefully, I didn't have to give that intro because you should be watching anyway. But, hey, had to do it just because it is how the show goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that you know is not here except for one person, the assistant coach that's always on my left. It is Zen. What up, Zen?
What's going on, Coach E, man? You ready to talk some WNBA?
Yeah, let's talk some WNBA. See what the people do. See what the people know about it.
Look, we doing it without our typically when we talk WNBA, we got a third one to help boost some credibility. You know, we missing Amber on this one, but I think we good, man. I think we can hold it down. Two dudes, you know. We try to soften it up, but
it's kind of hard.
yeah.
But
we gonna hold it down.
Yeah. No, I got full confidence in both of us, dog. We good
for sure.
But for y'all that don't know, I'm going to tell you now, the WNBA draft was last night. So we figured, you know what? This is a perfect time to, for one, get some content. And for two, to give y'all a recap on what picks were made, who got picked where they went, what happened in their college career, why we think they're good for that team, et cetera, et cetera. So I know, Zan, you're a heavy WNBA head. So what you thinking about that draft, man? Did you like the way it played out?
Man, there's a couple surprises I'm sure we're going to get to. A couple of folks fell further than I expected, but it will be interesting. It will be interesting. I was texting you a couple of my thoughts throughout the night last night, but yeah. All in all, solid draft, a solid group of rookies. Can't wait to see what they do start next month.
Yeah, season do start fast. Because you know what? I got home kind of late yesterday. When you sent that text, I was just literally getting done cutting the grass, and I was like, oh, man, I forgot the draft is on. So I had to hurry up, come in here, sit down, watch it. So I was a little bit late, but I caught up good enough to know what the ins and outs was and what happened and who went where. So, and I think I have an idea, a good inkling who you talking about fail, but we're going to bring that up because that was one of the main texts you sent. I was like, oh, man, I wasn't expecting that, but, you know, SHIT happens.
It does, for sure. So now that we went in and things got underway, now going into the night, it was a shroud of mystery on who was going number one. There was speculation, you know, the day of it came down to the three people that a lot of people kept repeating. It was between Azzi Fudd, Olivia Miles, and then the Spaniard, our fam. Look, I don't even know how you pronounce the last because they just threw that at me last night. All leading up into the draft, it was our fam. Then it became our fam TM or TM, something. I don't know. Yeah, like exactly.
You know, us Americans is used to that hard TH when you see it right after each other. And
yeah, for real.
IAM, in my opinion, that's Thyme, but I know it ain't like that because you know the overseas people pronunciation is totally different.
Exactly. But man, we talked prior to about Azzi Fudd performance against South Carolina. Were you surprised that she wound up going number one?
Yeah, I actually was, but you know, I said that I wanted her to do a better job than she did in the Final Four and the tournament, especially that semifinal game that they lost. But with her ending up being a number one pick, I wasn't too surprised because of her game. I like pretty much. She has a well-rounded game, man. She, as you can see with the highlights, she takes people off the dribble. She can have a catch and shoot mentality. She can create her own shot to a certain extent, but that's what Amber had on her. She was just, you know what I mean? So we can see what she's going to do. But I hope they don't exclude Mama right off the bat. Let's get some realistic expectations for her. Have her start a little slow. I'm not saying, hold her back, have her come off the bench, but I don't think they should want her to come in and be their number one scorer right off the bat. What do you think about that?
No, they still got Arike Agumbawale. So as long as she on the team, I think that's who's going to lead the team in scoring. Honestly, she's a number one overall draft pick, but I think when it comes to scoring, she's going to be third fiddle. I think she's going to fall behind her girlfriend, Paige Beckers, and she's going to definitely fall behind Arike. Arike is a straight up bucket. So that's all she know. And so, yeah, I don't see her coming in, and especially like Amber when we were talking on the NCAA pod. Like she said, she's an assistant player, so she's going to be more so relying upon what Paige can get her, and more so than what she can create on her own. So you look for a lot of catch and shoot threes. I don't see too much coming off the bounce. I see her, if I had a NBA comp, I'd probably say she should probably be more like a Klay Thompson with this team. You know what I'm saying? Not too many dribbles, J work for days. She gonna be splash all day when it comes to that jumper. I think I heard Andrea Carter say she got the best form in the WNBA, and I agree with that. It's textbook. So that's what I more so see from her. I do got to ask, what's your thoughts on? So if you were a GM now, with the WNBA is different. With women's sports period is different. You have situations where the players date each other. Would that being the GM? If you were the GM, would that have been a concern for you? Because I've heard some people talking about that. Like, man, I don't know about that. Like that could go awry, especially if the relationship don't work out like it should. So would that have been a concern for you in taking her number one, or would you have felt pressure being that Paige Beckers is your number one player, and that was her girlfriend, who's it's not a LeBron and Bronny thing. We got somebody who could definitely earn their keep right away. So would that have been a concern to you at all?
Yeah, that definitely would have been a concern. And I would have thought about that really, really thoroughly just to make sure that would be the best for my franchise and the best for the team. Franchise meaning like overall, because you're going to have people close to that situation watching it, making sure it don't get out of hand, just like you said, just in case of something go awry and they break up. You got to make sure that, outside of the workplace, outside of the gym, outside of the building where the team is, that nothing happens. Because nowadays, these younger kids, when they're heartbroken, they do a lot of things that you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like, you got to second guess your thought process and your decision making just in case you do something dumb. So that would bring a bad light to the franchise. That's why I was saying that I would have second thought that like right off the bat. But I think it should be good because that's instant chemistry, literally, on the court. And seeing that they did play with each other before too, but that is a definite thought, excuse me, that I would have had in my head as a GM.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you. Even though, because you've seen it work, because Diana Taurasi wound up marrying her teammate. So did DeWanna Bonner the first time, but you also saw when DeWanna Bonner broke up and got a divorce from her wife that, they had to separate them real quick. And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, okay, you taking that gamble. If it don't work out, then there was this wasn't like a weak draft class. There was some other folks that you could have that you wouldn't have that problem, and and would have been more so long-term, probably a more long-term solution. So it's a gamble, like, but I guess with anything, there's a risk and a reward. So sometimes you got to take that risk if you think it's going to be a reward, like that they hoping to expect with having back-to-back number one picks.
Yeah. Hopefully it pay off for them. Hopefully they ain't going in the right direction, turn that franchise around, because Paige Beckers had a good year last year. So that should only help her. And, with the comfort of being, how relationships are, the long distance relationships, it kind of makes you miss her or, do something different than you would be, or be lonely and your mind be somewhere else other than playing the game. So hopefully this will calm both of them down. They'll be in a happy space and they'll get the most out of both of them in that situation. So hopefully it's a good thing for Chicago. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, Dallas. Yeah, Dallas. My bad. Dallas.
Okay. Look. I see you queuing it up, so let's go ahead and jump into that number 2 pick. And I got to give props to that number 2 pick, because last year this time she had the option to go and declare for the WNBA draft, and she chose not to.
And the TCU Hornets.
That's right. The point guard, Olivia Miles. Instead, she chose to transfer from Notre Dame and go to TCU.
She's knocked down back-to-back threes.
I love her game. If you know anything about me, I love pure point guards, pass first point guards, and she is definitely that. And I love pass first point guards that ain't afraid to shoot and score too. And that's definitely her. And a lot of people comp her to Chelsea Gray, who I absolutely adore. So so what do you think? Even though the Minnesota Lynx with the number 2 pick, they already had a point guard in house. They re-signed Courtney Williams. What do you think about them going with another point guard in Olivia Miles?
I think they're just putting the pressure on the other point guard just to make sure it's the right signing that they want to do, because let's just be honest, they can get out of that deal whenever they want, or they can trade her away whenever a situation presents itself. So I think they're just trying to stay young and stay aggressive, and they might love the 2-guard offense that they have, with the possibility of them 2 being on the court at the same time. With, like you said, she can go get her own bucket, and the other one, what you say her name is? I'm sorry.
Courtney Williams.
Miles, Courtney Williams. So she could be the pure point, and Olivia could switch and be the 2-guard and be aggressive in a certain situation. Then it could switch back to the other way. So that could be a good thing for that organization and that team, man. Minnesota, they have a history of winning, but that was back in the day with Maya Moore and Sylvia Fowles and stuff like that. So hopefully they can get back to where they were with this draft pick. Hopefully it'll help make more cohesion and get some more aggressiveness and scoring and playmaking out on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, Courtney Williams, when she was coming up, she was a 2-guard, like in college and whatnot, and then starting off as well. So she's a naturally more of a score first point guard. So getting her off the ball and letting Olivia do her thing with the court vision that she has. Yeah, I definitely see Cheryl Reeve running that 2-guard offense with them 2 playing on the court at the same time. But at the same time, what I believe Courtney Williams only signed a 2-year deal. So we know the future is going to be with Olivia. So, yeah, I do like the move. I was wondering if they was going to go with the big from Spain, our fam. They didn't, because they lost a couple of bigs due to free agency once everything opened back up. But I think at the end of the day, I think they took best player available, and that was especially best player available that they're familiar with. And so I think Olivia Miles, she going to be like a 10, 15-year vet, and yeah, you can't go no wrong with that one.
No, you can't. Like I said, longevity, and just like you said, it's a 2-year deal. We all know what that means in sports. It's really 1 year and a possible. See if they want to make that decision on that possible, and that 1 year, see how everything goes. So, yeah, they can definitely change it at the drop of a dime.
Yes. And look, so that leads us to our 3rd pick, and the Spaniard, our fan, Seattle. Seattle went with the center from Spain. for that one, that was definitely best player available. I think, you know, a lot of people are a little cold on Lauren Betts when it came to being who's the number one big in the draft, and a lot of people, because if you watch a lot of UCLA ball, you know Lauren Betts is your traditional big. You know, you getting post play, everything like 10 feet in, you know. But with an Iowa fam, I've heard the crazy comparisons to Asia Wilson. So that means you got somebody who's a big who got some back to the basket game, but also can stretch the floor as well too. So if you're gonna go with a big, even though they did draft a big last year in Dominique Malonga, and they also got another big that they cored in Azzi Fudd. It's a long team for sure. So you putting Azzi, who's 6'4", you putting her, who's at 6'4", and Dominique, that's at 6'6". That's a long front line. I'm interested to see if they pull what JB Bickerstaff did with the Cavs his first season, and with Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. I'm interested to see if they run some type of combination out there like that involves all three of them playing on the floor at the same time. So it's interesting. It's interesting, and we'll get to who else arrived later. Which at first I was like, huh. But then I got a little excited. Cass. Yeah, I shouted out your boy JB. But yeah. So I'm interested. I know you aren't too familiar with her. Not really. Not too many people are. But what was your thoughts on that move right there?
So since you broke it down so I can understand where they're coming from with this pick, you said your comp would be, well, you didn't necessarily say your personal comp. You hearing comparisons of the Asia Wilson. Those are huge shoes to fill, dude. I don't know if everybody knows. Asia Wilson, that's Bron in the WNBA, in my opinion. It's her league. It's her league to lose. It's her league for years to come. And she's just a different kind of player. Just like you said, she can go back to the basket, and she's very aggressive and very athletic and take people off the dribble, create her own shot, shoot that pull-up jumper, shoot a three, everything. Her game is, from top to bottom, flawless. So if they comparing her to her, that better be a good damn pick at number 3 over the people that you already knew. Of course, they did scouting stuff overseas, but these young girls in college produced and showed on a high level, especially in the SEC, that, hey, we here too. We pretty good. So they feel that high on her. I can understand the pick, but that 6'4", 6'6" lineup, that's something different in a W. And they can actually put her at the 3, like you said, with the Lauri Markkanen situation. So if they can do that, I don't see no other team in the W with that kind of size and versatility. They can go big, they can go little. So I think that would be real good for Seattle doing that. That's actually a good pick then, since you broke it down in layman terms. Because like I said, I wasn't hip to her. I didn't see her play because she's a Spaniard overseas. I didn't watch overseas ball like that. I'm pretty sure she had a good run in the Olympics and things like that. I just didn't pay attention to her, so I wasn't too hip on this third pick.
Yeah. You know, I ain't going to front. Bunch of YouTube videos. That's what it comes down to me, folks.
YouTube University. YouTube studying.
Exactly. But speaking of that big, the number one big, in college basketball, with the 4th pick, the Washington Mystics went with her, man. So, hey, look, what movie? Look, B on here. Hey, what's the movie with? That's a big. You know what movie? Y'all know what I'm talking.
Yeah. Dang it. That's a big.
Yeah, man. That's
man.
all. That's all you. When you see Lauren Betts, I hate it. That movie clip just runs through my mind. That's a big. Hey, man.
6'7", yo. 6'7".
6'7", man. But Shallow Hal. Okay, is that what it is? Okay,
no, it wasn't Shallow Hal.
Was it Deuce Bigelow? I'm trying to think.
It was Deuce Bigelow. Yes, it was
Deuce Bigelow. Okay,
yes.
okay.
Deuce Bigelow. You got it.
Yeah, but yeah, What do you think about her going to the Mystics? They got a pretty young core. They got a bunch of young players, man.
So with her, she's a big that's not a lumbering big. She's actually a lot more mobile than you would think, that you would give her credit for being 6'7", but she's still not a wing player that's going to be like double duty with the block and the wing. So, and plus she has a very big cabinet of big man, big woman moves in the post. And she likes to keep the ball above her head. That's what you always try to teach bigs from the beginning. Whatever you're doing, whether you're rebounding or whether you're making a move, keep the ball up here. If you're already 6'7", in her case, nobody's going to touch that ball with you being up here and making your moves. As soon as you bring it down here, that's when the little people start getting involved with the swipes and the fouls and the hacks and trying to steal the ball, jump balls. You know how prevalent that is in the women's game. So if she keeps the ball up and makes those good moves that she made on the collegiate level, she's going to be pretty good. She's going to be tough to guard down there in the post, man. That can be a guaranteed bucket in situations. So let's say it's a minute or something left, minute 15 left, and you need a bucket, kind of like a guaranteed bucket. You dump that ball down to her in the post, and you almost pretty much got a guaranteed bucket if she does what I said, keep the ball up and make the right moves that she's been making. So I think that's a good pick for them, man. It'll slow the game down when it needs to get slowed down, and you'll see the mismatch right there all day.
Okay. Nah, I'm gonna be the contrarian in this one.
Contraire, mon fritter.
Yeah. Man, one thing that my takeaway from this WNBA draft, not a lot of these players are walking into situations where they're going to be handed the keys. A lot of these players are going to have to earn their keep because these rosters are already stacked. And Lauren Betts, hey, I thought, I was surprised they went with her, but I can't say I'm a little surprised they went with her because they already got a big in Shakira Austin. She signed a restricted deal with the Toronto Tempo, and they wound up matching it. And so they brought her back. So you already got a big who's doing pretty good, averaging like 12 points a game as your center. Now you bringing in Lauren. I'm like, where's the playing time for that? Not to mention, if you're just talking about bigs, period, you got Kiki Irfin, who was an all-star last season that you drafted. That's a big man. In this draft, they drafted our girl. I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but they also drafted Cody McMahon. And then along with Cody McMahon, there's a third draft pick, her teammate, Angela Dugalich. And so I'm like,
it don't stop.
Exactly. Like it's a crowded front court for sure. And I'm like, I don't know where they're going to find the playing time. Like I say, nobody's getting the keys. Folks are going to have to earn it. They're going to truly have to earn it. They're going to really learn from day one that this is the pros. The days of high school and getting the special treatment and this, that, and the other. Like, nah, it's somebody here to take your spot.
But I actually think that's a good thing. It's going to help the league overall if teams keep doing that with stacked rosters, stacking them even more to do the process of elimination, let them battle it out and figure it out. So I think that's good for the league and the franchises in WNBA because it ain't going to be no prima donna stuff and, well, she's here and she's the vet. She deserves to play. We're going to go with her. No. If one of you young Bucks, young Thundercats come in here and take her spot, you got it. But if you don't come in and take her spot, we're happy with you coming off the bench because that'll give our second unit the power that we need over the other people's second unit. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that leads to, I'm going to be honest with you, the surprise. Yes, this is the surprise of the night right here. So the Chicago Sky, I want to get your thoughts. They went with Gabriela Jaquez, Lauren Betts' teammate. Hey, UCLA, they ruled this draft.
Yeah,
they went with Jaquez when there's some other names that may have been probably better fit. So one name in particular, exactly, Flau'jae. So are you surprised? Do you think because they had the issues that they had with Angel Reese, they were cold on getting another LSU player with another big personality and a lot of fanfare with them. Do you think that's what made them hesitant, or is it that postseason, that March Madness run that Gabriella was on, just changed their minds? That's what you think? Okay.
Yeah. So when you said the first thing, I was gonna say not so much, but that second point that you brought up, what have you done for me lately? That's exactly what popped in their head, and they just said, "Hey, we got to go with her. We know Flau'jae is sitting there waiting for us to pick her, but this girl was on the heater just a couple weeks ago, so we're gonna go with her. We like her upside." That's just me thinking like how they thinking, but I was surprised too. I was just sitting here watching her brother play earlier today. Well, they still on right now. He plays for Miami Heat, and I was surprised when he got in the league that he was playing as much as he was. So luckiness runs in their family, clearly, because I don't know, man. I'm not saying that I don't like the pick, but I don't like the pick.
Yeah, I think if you're a Chicago Sky fan, and I watch a lot of Chicago Sky fan podcasts, you know, people talking about the Chicago Sky. Quito Love Sports is one of them, is my main one. And, you know, you hear them talk a lot about the GM for the Sky, and they not understanding the moves that he makes. And so this is probably a head scratcher right here, where it's like, because Angel Reese was beloved in Chicago. And to see her go, there was a lot of uproar for that. And then for him to get back 2 first-round draft picks, and then he traded one of those first-round draft picks for a player, J.C. Sheldon. Good player, but I don't know if you trade a first-round draft pick for her. And so, like, it's just this long line of questionable moves. This is right here. Like, Flau'jae, I'm like, who has more of an upside? When I see a Gabriella Jaquez play, I see more of a somebody that's going to be around the league for a while. Is going to be a good pro, but I see more so role player, whereas Flau'jae has more star potential than I think Jaquez has. So I was kind of surprised to see that they passed up on another player that at the end of the day, it's also a business. She would have filled the need, but with that name recognition would have helped to put butts in seats as well too. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they chose to go this route. So we'll see how this works out. And
just because they lost the person that was putting butts in seats, so you would think they would kind of react to get another person to put the butts in seats. But you know, I guess they went on another route.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, now, don't get me wrong. They made some moves in the offseason where the cupboard isn't bare, because they finally brought home Skylar Diggins. That was a long time coming. Overdue because, you know, she's from South Bend. And so, which isn't that far away. So that would have been a draw, bringing in a area kid. And then they also traded for Rickea Jackson from the Sparks as well. So they got a couple of pieces on the wings. Yeah, so they got a couple of pieces, but still, you give me Rickea along with Flau'jae, with a Skylar running the point. You know, I'm like, but.
And I think with Skylar, we all agree that she's on the end of it. She only has about a couple of years left, 2 at the most, with that level that she's playing at. I believe Flau'jae could run some point if necessary. Honestly, I really think she could. She has the versatility. I've seen her run the point a couple times. I like her decision making. Now, true enough, it wasn't the whole time when she was at LSU that she had to run the point, so I didn't see it to its max potential, but I liked what I saw when she was running the point a couple times. So that could have been another way to go at it too. So I don't know, man. But like you said, old buddy might be drinking something heavy in the draft room.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But look, hey, that UCLA run continued. So the expansion team, the Toronto Tempo, they drafted Gabriella's and Lauren's teammate, Kiki Rice. The second point guard taken off the board. I'm a little surprised there as well with that one too. But I think a lot of this, what you saw with the 5 players from UCLA going in the first round, 6 overall, a lot of that has to do with them winning that championship. I truly believe, because
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like the championship run was impressive, but I don't know it was like that. Because if you'd have told me going into the draft before March Madness started, would you seen 5 UCLA players going in the first round, I'd have been like, no. I could see them dispersed like between the first and second round, like you know, like, but not all in the first round. Not 3 of them back to back to back. Like, no, I did not see this, but it is a good one for an expansion franchise. They was kind of missing a point guard, and they needed a floor general. So Kiki is that for sure, and people love to play with her. So, like they said, you know, people transferred to UCLA just to play with her. She was that type of point guard. So I'm sure she'll carry that with that team, and Sandy Brondello will mold her and shape her and get her going.
And with her, just we sitting here watching these highlights, she makes the right basketball play. Just like right there where she got doubled, she spun out, reversed, wide open lane to the basket. Why not take that wide open lane to the basket and score with it? So she picks her spots where she's aggressive, and then she picks her spots where she's a distributor and setting her teammates up. So, I mean, once again, that was a good drive in, step back, behind the back, pull up jumper. That's what the defense gave her, and she made the right basketball play. So I have no problem with this pick. She's a good overall basketball player. Yeah,
definitely high IQ player. That's what you get with her for sure. Absolutely. But from there, look, we just gonna say so Toronto drafted. Now it's time for the other expansion franchise to draft, and the Portland Fire drafted Ayanna Martin Carrion, or who I'll learn her name. Yeah, I'll learn her name during the season, but as of right now, hey, we can skip this one. I don't got nothing on this one. I ain't gonna even front like I know.
Can't do that.
But we'll skip that, and that leads us to the person we was talking about earlier, Flau'jae. So the Golden State Valkyries selected Flau'jae, and when I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is not a good look. And the reason I said that is because the Valkyries, like when it comes to wings, they're pretty much set. You know, Veronica Burton, Kayla Thornton. Kayla Thornton was an all-star last year. So, like, they signed Gabby Williams. Like, they're not in any real need for, I mean,
wing or anything.
Fighting for time was going to be, that was going to truly be a fight, because I don't see neither one of those players giving it away easily. And I don't, look, Flau'jae is a good player. I don't know if she's got that I'm going to take it from you. She presents and kind of has that swagger like that, but I don't know if it's like that, you know, from her just yet, because I expected more once Angel Reese left. I expected a little more than what I saw, and I'm gonna be the first one to say it, and then some gonna be a hater. I question the rap career along with the basketball playing. You know, it's cool to have your hobbies, but man, what you also are doing is setting yourself up for critique and criticism with this, trying to do both things and trying to like kind of become a rap star at the same time. Like Brian always says it, and I'm sure Brian wasn't the one who came up with this quote, but keep the main thing the main thing. Nobody will care about this other stuff if you don't handle basketball and make that first. And let's keep it real. She kind of had a down year for her senior year. She didn't really go out with a bang like she could have. If I'm not mistaken, look, we talk bad about Malaysia Fulwiley, but I believe Malaysia Fulwiley led that team in points and assists, and I should have double-checked that. And she was coming off the bench. So that right there, Flau'jae, as highly touted as you were, McDonald's All-American and so forth and so on, and this is your final season, I expected a little more. I expected more. You leave South Carolina without getting one victory against South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? That's on your resume. That's on your jacket. So I worry about that. I still love her. I'm still a fan, but I do wonder if the chasing after the rap career, after the fashion, if you've ever watched any of these documentaries, she's got her hands in a lot of pots right now, and she's not clearly, to me, established herself in the basketball field just yet. And that's the main field that she wants to be great in, and she hasn't established herself just yet in that, and she's already in 50 different things. So I get a little worried with that, but we'll see how it works out. It did work out though for that she got traded to the Seattle Storm. Yeah. And that was she should have. Yes, she should be like,
thank you, Lord.
Like opportunity.
I'm gonna play. I never say this, and it feels weird saying it. I'm gonna play devil's advocate to what you just said, because she does have her hands in a lot of pots, and she does a lot of things. But now, with her getting school out of the way, maybe that'll be what she needs to equally distribute that time with all the projects that she has. So school, that's a huge chunk that's out of the way. But let's be honest, how much was she really going to class anyway? But I'm just saying.
There's that. You're very familiar when it comes to that. So hey, man, you know how they treat these athletes.
Yeah, on that level, I'm pretty sure she was. You're not going to class today? Oh, okay. I'll see you at practice. But anyway, hopefully that'll help her be a pro, because she already had a full schedule and knew how to balance it. It might not have been to a level that we both wanted to see her at, but she did a pretty good job, and I just looked it up. Flau'jae did lead in points per game, 14.6, but Flau'jae was right behind her with 14.2. But I see what you're saying. She should have been in front of her with that, but it wasn't too far off. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. So now let's go ahead and look. We can kind of speed through the rest of these. Look, we got our big dogs out the way. We can kind of speed through the rest of this first round real quick.
My favorite one was number 10, and that's my homegirl, man.
Yeah,
I told y'all about her on the preview for the tournament. Raven,
yes,
Raven, she's one of my favorite players, man. Just because, like you were saying, how you didn't know if Flau'jae had that dog in her, and I know Raven does. Mm-hmm. I know she does, because she's shown it time after time after time. And I think that's a really good pick by Indiana, because they're allowing her to play with Caitlin and set her up. And she is a pure point guard. Remember, I gave that Chris Paul comparison. She makes great decisions. She'll hit you in the open. She's a great basketball IQ person. And the Fever is already a pretty good roster with Aaliyah Wilson and Caitlin Clark and now Raven. I think that's a nice thing to build.
Aaliyah Boston, man. You
what I say?
You putting her last name with Asia Wilson, Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, I said Aaliyah Wilson?
Yeah, man.
Oh, damn, my bad. Aaliyah Boston. But that's a good threesome right there to grow for the future. Good basketball players right there. So that was my favorite pick of the draft, because I was waiting to see when everybody started getting picked. I'm like, okay, dang, when's she going to fall in? Had no clue that Indiana was going to get her, but I think that's a good move to get Caitlin off the ball, give her more movement at the 2 spot so she ain't got to create and do everything, kind of save her a little bit for those clutch moments and get Raven in there and make those decisions. So I think that's a great pickup for Indiana.
Yeah, it's a good pickup. She's going to be – I see her more so being the backup to Caitlin in Indiana, because that they pretty much their backcourt is cemented with Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin. And so I think there's times, like you said, the two will be on the court and they'll be able to get, with Caitlin being such a great shooter, they can get Caitlin off the ball but her job is to play backup, which is going to be a good backup because you got a dog who plays great defense, great defense, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, hands down. Look, against Connecticut, they had her guarding Sarah Strong, and she's all about like 5'9", so that tells you what type of dog she got in her. So and so definitely I like the pick. It just adds more and more depth to the Indiana Fever roster. Like you said, you got a big three already in Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark. They also got they signed Monique Billings. They re-signed Lexi Hull. They re-signed Sophie Cunningham. So they as my boy B like to say, they got horses in the stable for sure in Indiana. They went as far as they were able to with the multitude of injuries that they had last year, and they were able to take the Las Vegas Aces and take them to a game 5 before being eliminated. So if they were able to do that all without a Caitlin Clark, now you just add that to the mix as well too. You're looking to be title contenders for real.
Yeah. So hey,
look. And as far as, let's talk about the Washington Mystics, their third pick, Cody McMahon. We referenced it earlier. Former Ohio State Buckeye who went on down to Mississippi, went down to Oxford for a year, and showed out. She showed a lot to her game, and I'm wondering if she's going to be able to display that in the W. As far as Coach O had her running a lot of point forward. They put her at point guard a lot of times during this season, and to my surprise, she did very well, running the show at times. And so I'm wondering if they're going to be able to run her as a point forward for the Mystics, if she's going to be able to, the opportunity will present itself to where she'll be able to do that as well too. So I'm interested to see how she's a little tank, man. Yeah. She's a little tank, and so exactly. So hey, one thing I know, she ain't gonna back down, and she gonna be physical. I heard the comp is like it put a female Karl Malone at point when she was playing this season. Wow. And I was like, yeah, that's her. She got the shoulders and everything. So yeah, so yeah, I'm interested to see that. But again, she's gonna have to fight for that playing time, unless injuries arise. That to open up that opportunity. We'll see how it shakes out. She might be one of those that might need to see a change of scenery before she takes off. Because like I say, if all of these young players that Washington has, if they work out, like, man, I don't know where the time is going to come, but they should. The one thing I will do with watching the Washington Mystics with this young core, I think they're going to be exciting to watch, though, because they was kind of surprising some folks last year with how well they started. Like I said, they had two of their rookies from last year make the All-Star game, so so you just add on to that. So they should be exciting to watch, and I'm interested to see how they play with all these fresh young legs, including Georgia Amore, the point guard from Kentucky that missed last season with the ACL injury. So they get her back as well too. So you can kind of consider her a rookie as well that you're throwing into the mix.
100% rookie. She ain't played it down yet. I said it down. She ain't played the play yet. Hopefully she ain't playing no downs.
And I gotta shout out my Atlanta Dream. They're my Atlanta Dream until the Cleveland franchise comes in 2028. So hey, they drafted, I mentioned her before in our NCAA pod when we talked about the tourney, Medina Okap. She did. Yeah, they got a big. We lost Brittany Griner to the Connecticut Sun because she trying to set up her farewell, because the Connecticut Sun will be moving to Houston next season, and Brittany's from Houston. So they just setting it up, to get the prepping everything for when they actually arrive there. But yeah, so they got a big, I love Brianna Jones, who we got, but Brianna Jones is kind of on the shorter end, so we got an actual big. I ain't gonna lie, there was another name that I was hoping to hear, and it was Medina's teammate, Taniyah Latson, rather. I'm sorry, Taniyah Latson. I was surprised she fell out of the first round.
Yeah, I was about to say she was the second of the second round, right? Pick of the second round?
Fifth.
Oh wow, yeah, dang.
She was the fifth pick in the second round. Like, there was some names that went ahead of her. I was like, I ain't gonna look. Who cares? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Look. Sorry, Amber. Man, Cassandra Prosper. I know that she played at Notre Dame, but I am surprised.
Yeah, I didn't even know she came out. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know she was eligible.
Yeah, it just names. Marta Suarez, I kind of get that one. She had a pretty good season. And then everybody was so high on these UCLA Bruins. So their guard, Charlize Ledger-Walker, they brought her.
Nah.
She got but I still, over all of them. Look, I even some in the late first round. Look, I'm Taina Mayer. She a dog. She scrappy like Raven, so I could get that.
But she never led the nation in scoring.
Yeah. That would have been nice in Seattle. The Connecticut Sun, they went with Gianna Neepkins. I'm like, that's cool. She got J work for days, but I still like
but
the
be able to get that off at that level like that.
Only time will tell. But I thought you kind of saw there's two players. So we got Taniyah Latson, who made the move to South Carolina, and another player who was a all Big Ten player, and Sarah Williams. She made the move from Wisconsin to Connecticut. And it looks like, I think those moves may have backfired when it comes to, we won't know. Time will tell when it comes as far as overall career goes. But as far as draft position, those moves might have hurt them when it came to the draft position, because Taniyah had it all in Florida State, but she wanted to get somewhere where she could compete for a championship, and she hooked back up with her high school teammate. Yeah, and what she did, but it didn't probably go. She improved, but I don't think it went to the level that she had probably imagined. I think if you would have asked her, give her some truth serum, like, yeah, you had the wins, but I'm sure you thought you were going to be contributed in a totally different way at South Carolina than how it turned out. So I think that hurt her draft stock, and the same thing with Sarah Williams. I thought she thought maybe she could play alongside Sarah Strong, and it the stats would be there, but it didn't quite turn out, and the accolades didn't come this season. They were more so for Sarah Strong and Azzi Fudd, and so she wound up going in the third round. So those two, I'm interested to see how it turns out for them in the W, if they're able to have some staying power. But yeah, look. Oh, go ahead.
One person before we wrap. There's one person I wanted. Tioni Key. You hip to her from Kentucky?
Yeah, from Kentucky. Yep.
I like her game, man. She is a guard in a big person's body, and I think that's going to translate really well to the W, because she can really – I like her game a lot, man. She's very perimeter-based, but she has one-on-one moves out the wazoo. And you see that every once in a while in the W. People go one-on-one, and, but her is different. She moves different. She shoots different. She dribbles different. I really like her game, man. So watch out for her. She ended up going to Toronto. She got picked up by Toronto. So watch out for Tioni Key.
And one of the things that I'm sure you heard, and something that this draft class is able to experience that other draft classes hasn't been able to experience, is now that they've opened up the opportunity for 2 developmental players to have on the roster as well too. So
that's like
even
the
if
two-way players in the NBA for all the people that don't know.
Yeah, so that hopefully that'll catch on, because look, a local area kid last year, just didn't. We thought for sure we would have saw her in the WNBA last year, and she failed to catch on in Cheyenne Sellers.
Yeah, I was about to say Brad Sellers' daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she's out there now. She's trying to catch on with the Dallas Wings, but had that been available to her last year, maybe she would have been able to stick around. Yeah, and but so it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing shakes out as well too. But look, hey man, I know I get long-winded when it comes to my WNBA. Like I tell folks, I watch a whole lot more women's basketball than I do men's college basketball. So shoot, even men's regular season, I watch playoff ball, but I watch when it comes to regular season. I watch a whole lot more women, so I'm like tuned in and tapped in for sure when it comes to this. So I can get a little lengthy with it sometimes. But
it's cool. The people needed to break down like that. Hopefully, we can convert some others.
Yeah, for sure. But look, I'm done, Coach E.
Hey, I'm done too, in more ways than one, Jack.
Hey man, I appreciate you, Coach E. I hope everybody that listened, they enjoyed it. Hey, I saw a couple of people jump in late on the chat. Hey, if you missed it, man, go back and rewatch this live stream, man, and I appreciate it. Hey, we're gonna have more once the W season gets underway as well too. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes, sir. And make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, like, and share to this YouTube channel right here. Okay. Follow directions. Subscribe first, like second, share last. Coach E, Game for All Seasons in your search bar, and go ahead and do that. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening. Zen, way to hold it down, brother. Way to get on this late call. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for tuning in to Game for All Seasons with Coach E. Remember to hit the like or subscribe button on Coach E's YouTube channel. To listen on the go, download wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure to follow Coach E on Instagram, X, and TikTok at BigF216. Contact us at www.perfecttimefitness.com for one-on-one or group training sessions. Our theme music provided by Mr. Taboo Timmons on SoundCloud at Mr. Taboo Timmons. Once again, thanks for listening and see you next week.